Hi, my name is Alex and I'm a student at Leeds University. I actually have dyslexia, which is one of my downsides for doing maths, so I struggle with it quite a bit. Making a selection of videos for things which I've finally managed to work out and explain them in a way which makes sense to me, basically in an attempt to help other people that might have the same problem as me. In this video I'm going to show you how to find the distance between 2 points of a line on a graph, find the gradient of that line and find out the equation of that line. First of all, we need some coordinates. I'll use these coordinates. One and 2 and 3 and 7. This I found is very key to do this now. If you forget to do it later, it might make it a bit difficult for you, is to label the points x1, y1, x2, y2. I'll explain later in the video why you do this. Now, once you've done that, the first thing I recommend doing is actually drawing the situation. I find actually seeing things is a lot better than trying to actually picture things in your head. So we'll do a quick graph. There we go. Now plot the points. So 1 and 2. There's 1 in and 2 up, and 3 and 7, so it's 3 there and 7 up. Now what I do is make a triangle. You'll need to do this to actually find the distance between the 2 points. So put a dot there, draw across, draw down again. Now you have a triangle. Right angle triangle even. Now you need to know how to do Pythagoras. If you've never done it before, it's not actually that difficult. All you need to do is know this formula. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. And if you didn't know what the sides of a triangle were, the smallest side is A, middle side is B, and the longest side is C. And obviously these are squared, so that's going to be labelled A squared, B squared and C squared. Now to actually put the numbers in. How long is A? It's 1 to 3. The difference between the new numbers is 2. So A is 2 long. B, 7 to 2. The difference is 5. B is 5 long. Now you put the numbers into here. C squared equals 2 squared plus 5 squared, which is the same as 4 plus 25, and if you put those together you get 29. So now you know that C squared equals 29. And to get it to C, obviously you just need to square root it. So C equals square root of 29. I've already done this calculation ahead and the answer is 5.385. So that's what C is. C is 5.385, simple distance. You know it works because it's the longest side and it has the highest value out of all the other two on there. So you know you are right there. If it was lower, obviously it wouldn't work. B would end up being longer, I think, or something like that. So that's correct. Now that you have that side, we move on to the gradient. Gradient is not actually that hard at all. The way my teacher was explaining it, he was doing some sort of equation for doing it, but I can't remember what it was. One of my friends told me all it is rise over run. So let's write that. Rise over run. Now we know what the equation is. Now just put the numbers in, which is 5 over 2. So yeah, run is across the bottom, 2, rise is at the top, 5. So that is what your gradient is, 5 over 2, or you can actually work it out, which would be 2.5. Your gradient is 2.5. Now we have to work out the equation. What is the equation? I'm sure you've all seen this before. Y equals mx plus c. M is your gradient, c is the y-intercept. Now this is the formula you need to know to work it out right here. Y minus y1 equals m in brackets x minus x1. That's why I told you at the start to put the numbers underneath, because it will be important later on. Now you've got the formula, put the numbers in. We don't know what y is, well, we don't have a number for y, but we've got a y1, which is 2, is equal to m, which is the gradient, and we know the gradient is 2.5. We don't have a value for x, so that just leaves it on its own, but we have a value for x1, which is just 1. Expand the bracket, which means work it out. 2.5 times x is 2.5x, and 2.5 times minus 1 equals minus 2.5. There you go. Next bit gets a little bit tricky. You want to get y on its own, and to get y on its own, you can clearly see here you need to get rid of that minus 2. So, to get rid of minus 2, you have to add 2 to make that 0. And whatever you do in an equation like this, you do on one side, you must do to the other. So you've added 2 here to get rid of that. Therefore, you must add 2 on this side to make it balanced. Plus 2. Y equals 2.5x minus 2.5 plus 2. And you can see these two numbers are similar. They're both whole numbers, and you can subtract them or add them together, whichever way you want to look at it, which will leave you with 0.5. Yeah, so minus 2.5, add 2 is 0.5. 2.5x minus 0.5 y. And there you go. That's how you work it out. You have y, your gradient, x, and the constant, the intersect, which is where it crosses through. Just so you're aware, the constant isn't always a plus, it can be a minus like it is in this case. The way I've drawn the graph here isn't very accurate. As you can see, if you were to extend the line, it would cross there. If I'd done the numbers closer up, it would have a bit more steepness to it, and you would see it would go underneath there and cross there. So now you know how to do all 3 of those. And thank you for watching.